What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? Go ahead, say it with me. DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know, I like to party with the people. Wedding season is coming up, and I'm so happy that the weddings are booking. Yes. Corporate events, birthday parties as well, anniversaries, you know, whatever needs music in the background there. Well, not even in the background, in the foreground. If you want the party, I'll have the music that'll get the guests hitting the dance floor. I even bring the lights. I even bring some video equipment, some televisions that'll put music videos up there. So you'll have visual as well as audio, which is kind of like what this podcast does. It's got video as well as audio. So if you're listening to the audio version only of this, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/Keys Dan, or just look up Keys Dan. I know there's 3 YouTube pages, YouTube pages out there, but it's the one that has the Radio What logo right next to Keys Dan. Today on the program, Kam Singh. Who's Kam Singh? Well, you're going to find out in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, well, let's see. Oh, I guess it's Christmas on Friday, so I don't have any gigs, any public gigs. So expect a lot of, well, I think I'll be playing a lot of video games. I don't think I have a lot of podcasts this week as well. I've kind of taken off for Christmas week because my day job has got me working. Working hard. And, so I'll probably be playing some video games at night. Keys Dan Gaming, hashtag Keys Dan Gaming. Find me on Twitch. Find me on Facebook Gaming. But, find me. All right, let's get into it with Kam Singh. Now, let's see, the Friday night show at the Rab will probably start back up after the first of the year. And the Thursday night show over at the Cedar Lounge, they've assured me that they'll be starting back up at the first of the year. So the Rab in Conway, Arkansas on Friday nights, and the Thursday nights at the Cedar Lounge in Morrilton, Arkansas. Now that's the newest gig that I got, so it took me a split second to think about it. All right, let's get into it with Kam Singh. Now I got him on Skype. So, like I said, if you're listening to the audio version, check out the video version on YouTube, Keys Dan, and find the little Radio What logo. All right, let's get into it with Kam Singh. Skyping Kam Singh now.
Can you see me now?
I do not. And now I do. Yes, there he is, the beautiful Kam Singh. If you'll turn it sideways and just set it up in front of you, it'll fit in my broadcast software. Bam, there it is.
Here we go.
There it is.
How's that? Okay?
Is this a cooking show? It looks like we're visiting Kam Singh in his kitchen. And
we are in the kitchen, I'm afraid.
No need to be afraid. I'm a big guy. I like food. I just had some lunch myself. I'm over here in the U.S. of A. And where do you find yourself, Kam Singh?
I'm in a small town called Newport Pagnell, which is southeast in England.
Man, southeast of England,
40 miles north of London.
Well, I know you're going to say, hey, you don't have an accent. I have an accent. But the kids over here on this side of the pond are going to enjoy hearing you speak, Kam Singh.
Brilliant.
I'm excited. And I've enjoyed hearing you sing. You have the sweetest sound. And most of the songs that you have are just songs that you could just groove to, listen to when you're working, when you're walking, when you're, oh my goodness. How you describe yourself? Who is a Kam Singh?
just your average guy from the UK.
There's nothing average about you. Somebody that can take an idea and make a song. That's extraordinary. That's something that I've never been able to do. I've never been able to grasp that concept. I've wanted to make a song. I have 3, 4, 5 guitars in the house. There's a full keyboard, piano. There's a harmonica. And now, from what I understand, my 15-year-old daughter, she wants to pick up the violin. So she's getting a violin from her grandparents. And that's fantastic. But there's music in the house, and it's nothing that I can create. But Kam Singh, you create music, man. When did you figure out that you could do that thing?
So I remember being 13 and excuse me, I begged my mum and dad for a guitar when I was 13, and so on my 13th Christmas they bought me a guitar, and by the age of 15 I was probably writing my own riffs and music. And back then, because you're probably thinking, you look so young, but back then we didn't have no internet or YouTube to go on to learn music. So I remember going to libraries to get books and try and figure out chords and stuff like that. And then trying to hear music by just hearing it. So it's a bit more easier now.
Kam Singh, I'm looking at you, and you look like a millennial to me, 20-something, if you will. I'm listening to your music, and I'm loving it. Anybody, the first thing is anybody that's listening to this podcast that's on the audio portion, or even watching the video version of this podcast, just go to Kam Singh and check out his music. Now, what I like to do on these podcasts is find out the people behind the music. You've already alluded to it. Your parents, they were instrumental in giving you instruments. You asked for a guitar and they gave it. So big ups to the parents that support their musician kids, because it's a hard road. Most of the time, starving artist is a word, 2 words that go together. So tell me about your career, your home life when you first started out playing guitar, reading those books.
Yeah, so like I said, at the age of 15, I was just writing my own kind of riffs and stuff. And then by the age of 16, 17, when I was in college, I got to meet other musicians and collaborate with them. And then I was really heavily into bands like Pearl Jam, Nirvana, like the Seattle grunge scene, which really inspired me. That's your neck of the woods, on the other side of the pond.
Well, now you're leading me to believe that you're a kid of the 90s. I'm class of 86.
No, I am.
Yeah, I'm class of 86. So maybe I'm 10 years older than you, possibly.
Yeah.
The Pearl Jam, I had an affinity for them. The grunge music, for sure. 94, I think I was living in Orlando, Florida, which is kind of where Disney World is at, a tourist town. And I remember 94 was when Kurt Cobain died. And that was a time that was really celebrating that type of music, that groove. But that's not your groove, man. I can't put you in a box, Kam Singh. You might have been inspired by that, but okay, there's one song. I don't know if you remember the TV show Smallville. I don't know if that made it over there.
Is that the Superman
thing? Correct. And the theme song was "Somebody Save Me." I know my voice is not good, but that's the kind of groove that I get from you, is that kind of music, that feeling.
Who sang that? Somebody Save Me. Who's that?
I feels like, might have been Five for Fighting. I know I can look it up real easy. I mean, this internet at our fingertips, I can just say Smallville theme. But, tell me about being in a small town. You didn't meet any musicians till you got out into college. Remy Zero. Remy Zero did the.
I thought it was Remy Zero.
But I mean,
Did they not do Craft? Was not Craft? It was. I can't remember that American TV show. It's to do with witches.
Was it The Craft?
It was. No, was it? What was the one?
Oh, one with the 3 witches.
The one with the three witches. What was it?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
It wasn't Craft. It was something else.
Well, now we're going to get into some trivia. Anybody out there? They're screaming. They're screaming at their podcast devices right now. Let me look up Remy Zero. I thought they were a one-hit wonder, but you might be right. Let's see. They did music videos, Prophecy, Sophie Miller, Save Me, Grammar Me. That's a good question. But I'm kind of remembering there was three girls, and they were
three girls. Yeah,
it was kind of inspired by The Craft, because there was I guess it was four girls in The Craft eventually. Oh my goodness, I can't remember.
Okay, we digress. Yeah, so what was the question again?
No, there's no question. It's always about you, man. You can tell the story any way you want. But small town Kam Singh, and Kam Singh is your actual name. It's not a pseudonym.
That's my actual. That's not a stage name. I've often thought about having a stage name, and I don't know why I never went with a stage name. But the older I got, I always thought that if I could pick a stage name, what would I have? And then I did come out with some, like maybe I could have Michael Singh. I thought that was kind of cool. Or recently I thought Cam Stone, like, you have Stone Gossard in Pearl Jam. I thought Cam Stone, that sounds good. But anyway, I just stuck with Kam Singh because I thought it's easy to remember. And it's my name, so I'll never forget it when I introduce myself live on stage.
Yeah,
as opposed to picking a random one and then I'd probably forget.
Kam Singh, I think I messed up. I took Keys Dan. I'm from the Florida Keys, way down south in the south of Florida. And I moved to Arkansas, which is in the south of the United States, the Confederate states, the states that seceded from the Union at one time or another. And here I'm stuck with Keys Dan still. I should have used my real name, Daniel Gilson. That was my dad's name for the mostly.
Okay.
But I'm not a junior. But Kam Singh, that's a great name for a singer.
Thank you.
It's not
Do you
spelled.
mind me calling you Dan? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can call me Dan. Yeah, of course. But
Sorry, Dan. I was going to say I have been to Miami. So I have been to your end of the world.
Well, I noticed that you had a video of you in Times Square. So, I mean, I want to get there to when you came to the United States. But you started off. Let me get back to 13 to 15 when you started figuring out that you could play guitar. I mean, was it all learned from books, or did you actually go to a class between those 2 years?
Nah, there was no classes. It was all books. And my older brother, he dabbled a bit with guitar, so he taught me as much as he could teach me on guitar, which not knocking him, looking back now, wasn't much, but it was enough to get me on my journey. So so books, learnt off friends, here and there. A lot of the time when I play, a lot of people say to me, the way I play the chords and notes and stuff isn't very orthodox. I think that's because I taught myself, so it's my own kind of style, if you know what I mean, Dan. My own kind of cowboy kind of style I put on it, which is quite unique, and I guess that's why people like some of my stuff.
Yeah, Kam Singh. I mean, if you're not taught by anybody, you can't be influenced by anybody. That's the thing about our teachers. Love them. Big ups to the teachers for sure. But if you don't have a teacher, then you have nobody that's going to be influencing you with their own style. You're going to come up with your own style for the most part. You're going to pick and choose from some of the grunge bands that you were listening to growing up. What year did you graduate high school?
What's high school? Is that
11, 12? What year did you graduate primary school before university?
So we have we go to college here from the age of 16 onwards.
Wow!
And then I went to university at 18. So
That sounds like you're a smart guy. What What was your primary study in college? When you finally went to university, what were you studying?
I studied computer science.
Very good. Did you go anywhere with that?
What do you mean? Did I go?
I mean, do you use that in your daily life?
Use it? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I do use it.
Did you get a Joe job where you could work with computers? Because I think these computers are going to take off eventually.
Yeah, so I have got a job where I work with computers, and yeah, I'm a part-time part-time musician, part-time IT person.
Well, no, that's what I tell some people, you know, and I've talked to a lot of musicians, and I myself have a day job because insurance is hard to come by. Yeah, it's hard to come by, you know, especially here in the United States. I don't know about the socialized medicine so much, and talking to people in the UK, I do get another sense of how the healthcare, but health benefits are an important part of having a job. Usually it's provided by our jobs here in the United States, and having a day job that has the insurance affords you the ability to do the things that you want to do at night. And I'm guessing that's how it's working out for you.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I really like my day job, and I love the people I work with. So it doesn't, in a way, feel like a job.
Yeah.
And I'm very blessed to be where I am, and especially, Dan, in times like these we're living in.
Yeah, I've heard of your company's IT guy. It gets parodied quite a bit on different shows. I think there was one, Jimmy Fallon. He's a comedian here in the States, and he's also on the Tonight Show, I believe, in the United States. But comedian. And one of the things that he did before that, he was on Saturday Night Live, and he had a recurring character called your company's IT guy, and he had the pencils in his pocket and, you know, the glasses, and whenever somebody needed help on their computer, he would say, "Move," and then just do it to himself instead of teaching somebody. Are you the kind of guy that would teach somebody how to use their computer in the office, or are you somebody that says, "Move," and get them out of the way and do it yourself?
A bit of both, if I'm honest.
That's good. That's good that you can admit that. You know that some people just cannot grasp these computers. How do I get to my email? How do I get to my messenger? I'm trying to find that a very important item on my computer, and I've lost that folder. Well, you've deleted it, fool. You know?
Thought you were going to say something different then, Dan.
No, absolutely not. I'm not the guy that curses, but some people on the podcast can curse, and I'm not going to limit anybody for their language at all. But I guess when I started doing radio back in 1986, I stopped cursing. And, when I was a young boy, I would dabble, but I find no need for it now, and I've had to. I don't know is it limiting myself, because you see things sometimes. If you limit your words, you lose your intelligence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. As I'm speaking to you, Dan, I'm just making myself a drink. I hope that's okay.
Oh, I'm completely happy. This is a little ASMR for the people that are listening to the audio version of this. And you're currently in your kitchen. And I want to talk about your kitchen, because it's good. I see there's ice in a bag. Do you not have a refrigerator?
Let's get some ice. Get some ice here.
You have ice in a bag. People that usually buy ice in a bag don't have a freezer. Am I to believe in this small town you have no freezers?
No. Well, we have a freezer. It's a real long and boring story, but over summertime we bought loads of ice because we were going to host a party for my birthday. Yeah. But due to the pandemic, the party was cancelled. So I've got a freezer with shitloads of ice in the back. So I'm trying to get rid of it, really. So
and what better way to get rid of it than to make yourself a drink? What's the drink of choice? What's the drink of choice these days, Kam Singh?
I don't know. I was going to have one of these. I think it's from your neck of the woods. JB Rare
All right. All right.
whiskey. Yeah, it's a blended whiskey.
I work in a lot of bars. I do a lot of DJing at different clubs, but I've never been a drinker. I had a half a beer once and I passed out. But I've seen that bottle of J&B behind different bars. J&B, is it a wine or a what kind of a liquor is it?
It's a blended whiskey.
Whiskey. Very cool.
So,
and you're measuring some out. Some people that
I do measure it because it's drinking responsibly is very important to me.
But you're at home. You could drink yourself until you're red in the eyes until you pass out on your kitchen floor.
Yeah, but I've got my boss in the other room, and
are you working from home? No, I'm guessing that's your partner of sorts.
That's correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, and that's why you're stuck in the kitchen. Are you making the sandwiches?
That's why she's kicked me out into the kitchen. Yeah.
How sad is that?
She put me in the kitchen while she watches telly. So
okay,
great. So.
Well, I know
the kitchen's great. It's got all the drink I need and all the ice. So
you keep telling yourself that you got kicked out of your room. You have no space. I myself am married, and we're about to get a house. In fact, this weekend or this next weekend, Christmas weekend, I'm moving from Conway, Arkansas to Holland, Arkansas, a very small town, from a medium-sized town to a very small town of 500 people.
Cool.
And I'm very leery of it. It's a little further out than I want to be, and I'll still be able to do these podcasts. And I could do these from anywhere as long as there's internet access. But I asked humbly, wife, love of my life, dear heart, may I please have a space that I could hang up my banners and my posters, and my different people that I've done podcasts. Can I have some space? And she said, "We'll see." So we buy the house for the lady, and if we get a chair, a space, hey, consider yourself fortunate, but you get the kitchen.
Love it.
Most alpha males would tell that woman to get in the kitchen. Get that woman in the kitchen. Would you do that to your wife, your girl?
No.
No, you would not.
She's quite strong. So,
yeah, I might talk a big. I might talk a big game, but no, I wouldn't say that either. Even though I think the undershirt that I'm wearing today is I will pull it out. It says "Cool story, babe. Now make me a sandwich."
Talking about her anyway, Dan. So yes. I don't know if you heard this song. It's called 1125.
Okay.
I've wrote, and it's about her. And the story behind it is after this, if you can get time to check it out, the song's called 1125. But we went out in the early days when we were courting, and I think I was going to play a gig. So we were driving at the place where I was going to do a gig, and we'd had an argument en route. I can't remember what it was about. Don't think it was important. And anyway, we got to the venue, and the venue was so loud. And she turned around to me and she goes to me, "I love you." And I said to her, "It's 11:25." And she goes, No, I love you." And I said to her again, I go, No, the time's 11:25. And then I grasped that she wasn't asking me the time. She was telling me, "I love you." And then later on, I went away and I wrote a song called 11:25. So it's code for me to say to her each time, "I love you." So
that's fantastic. That's a little side note that you would find in one of these rom-coms, because what was that movie, Ghost? I think that Patrick Swayze, instead of saying "I love you" back to Demi Moore's character, he would say "ditto." So that's your ditto.
Yeah. Okay, I see that. Yeah. I remember him saying that, actually.
That's your ditto. Yeah. That's your ditto. You could, instead, when she says "I love you," you say 11:25. What a great story. Yeah, that's right. That's something that you're going to tell your grandkids. Is that the first time she told you that she loved you?
That was the first time she told me.
Wow. And what was it? What was her inspiration in this loud club with all this music playing? And it wasn't you playing on stage, right? It was
No, I was yet to go on stage, but I think that just between you and me, that she probably thought I was probably right in the argument, and then she probably thought, "Yeah, I love you." So yeah. Notice I'm whispering when I'm saying that.
I notice you're whispering. Be a man up. Say, I was right in that argument. No, you're never right. You're never right.
Yeah,
You're always
never
wrong.
mind.
She is always right. I get to do a lot of weddings as a DJ, and I always
Oh
tell
wow.
I always tell the husband, and usually in the middle of the ceremony while they're cutting the cake, I'll say, she will feed you first. No, you will feed her first because she will always have the last word. Always.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I think so too. All right, man. But going back to Kam Singh, the early days, man, I'm getting little inspirations, little tidbits. That, when you went to college, you met up with some mates that that knew how to play music. Did you get together with any of them and jam or play in a band?
We got together. I formed a little band and stuff,
What was the name of the
and
band?
I can't remember something silly like Aspen AC90 or something. I don't know, something like that. It was a random name. Didn't go anywhere. We didn't do no gigs or nothing like that.
No gigs.
But no, there was no gigs. And then after that band, I tried forming a lot of bands throughout my life, but they never took off. And I think it's really hard to work with other members because when you're rehearsing and stuff, you all have to commit to like turning up at the same time, and it's just really hard managing people. And I never got into a band where it was sort of synchronized. And do you know what I mean? What I'm saying, like it's easier to manage yourself than 4 or 5 other people.
Oh yeah,
So
if you could pick up
it never took off for me for some reason, and I do regret it. But currently, I've formed my own band, the Kam Singh band, and who I have people in it, which is great because these guys are fantastic musicians, and I've just been fortunate enough to like hook up with them. And so my drummer, Paul Brown, great drummer, and my bass player, Rob Sidebottom, and I've got a guy on percussion called Jim Monroe, and these guys are great, and they're a joy to work with as well. They're not just musicians, but also friends.
Well, I'm glad you're giving credit where credit is due, Kam Singh, because we can't get to any place by ourselves. As much as we want to trek through and think that we can do things on our own, we always need people to help us along the way. Even if you can record your own music in your own room with your own equipment, you still need somebody with a discerning ear to put those finishing touches on it. And you have,
of course, you need a
good group.
You need to surround yourself with a good team because, you like you said, Dan, you can't do it on your own.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I do these podcasts by myself, it's terrible. It's nice to have a Kam Singh on the other side that I could bounce ideas off of. And this internet is a wonderful thing, man. You know yourself. These computers, they're definitely taking off. I think eventually, they're going to catch on. And I know that's a joke. They have caught on, and we can use the internet for good and promote other people, which is what I started doing radio to begin with, was to promote other people. And I like promoting Kam Singh at this particular moment in time.
Can I ask you a question, Dan?
Yes, please. How
did you find me?
I found you on the interwebs on Twitter. Twitter was our first meeting.
What was your first Kam Singh song you heard?
Well, I was it's the first one that's on your website. You have a list of videos, and that was probably the first thing that I went to. And if I can remember what it is, and it was a few months ago, so I don't know if it was Long Distance Call or Stay With Me. Okay. One of those. Right. But very...
You mentioned Stay With Me. That's such a close song to my heart, that, because it was one of the first ones that kind of brought me to the surface.
Well, tell me about it. Give me the story of Stay With Me. How did that get inspired?
So how that happened was I wrote it in my bedroom when I can't remember how old I was, but there was this competition coming to town, and it was called Open Mic 2009, and it was kind of it's kind of like an X Factory kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where you go on audition and if you're good, you get to perform in front of 500 people and stuff. So I remember going to audition with my cousins, and I hadn't really like done a competition before, and I'd never played to 500 people before.
Wow.
But I thought, why not try it out? You know, because they were in my hometown of Bedford at the time, and I went to this audition, and then I got through to the finals, and the song that got me through was "Stay With Me," and then I ended up playing that in front of the 500 crowd. And friends and family came who hadn't ever seen me perform live either, so it was really special. So that song, "Stay With Me," it kind of brought me to the surface.
Yeah, Kam Singh,
And,
it's those times that can make a musician or an entertainer of any kind push forward. When you get accolades, when you get response from people, because at that point, I'm guessing you were playing for your mom and dad, maybe at that point.
I was basically playing for family and friends.
Uh-huh.
So like my auntie and uncle and cousins and college friends, etc. I hadn't really pushed it out to the major public, shall we say. And obviously your friends and family can tell you sound great, but I always wanted to know, like, would other people like my music who don't know me? It was a big challenge for me, like, to put it out there. And then after I put that song "Stay With Me" out there and people really enjoyed it, I thought, you know what, man, maybe the other songs have got something in them as well that people will like. So, yeah.
Yeah, Kam Singh, you kind of answered my question. My next question was going to be, did any of your family members say, hey, you should take this on the road, take this to a stage in front of strangers? Was there any one person in particular?
100%. They said that to me all the time I used to play. Like, they're like, you need to air it more, you know, go and play live and so you can reach ears that haven't heard your music before. But I was like, oh, they're just saying, I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm so glad I've done that competition back then, because it did open up other doors for me, like, you know, performing in other venues and doing festivals, and it was really good.
Yeah, you can imagine those 500 people must have told at least one person about Kam Singh,
exactly.
And they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on. And suddenly you're a local celebrity in your town of Bedford, the small town of Bedford. Any of the other kids in school say, Kam, I heard you play guitar. Would you play some guitar at my house for my birthday, or something like that?
I didn't get no kids come up to me, but yeah, it was really cool because I ended up in the local paper a few times and stuff, and it was really good promo for me.
So, yeah, these are things that your mom's going to clip out and put them in a little scrapbook forever and ever. Did you get any of those clippings? Do you still have them?
Do you know what? They're at my parents' house. I've got a lot of newspapers there and stuff, but I need to go back one day and collect.
No, these are the things that parents want. We always want our children to be better than we are, and we push them forward, and we give them all the tools to put in their toolbox. I have two daughters myself, and one of my daughters has made me a grandpa, and now she's going to make me a grandpa twice. You know, so and here I'm 51 years old. Really, a grandpa? You know, but here I am. You know,
Congratulations, Stan.
Oh my goodness, I'm so blessed, and I know that's a word that gets thrown around quite a bit, but I do feel very honored that I have procreated, and then my procreation has extended the species on even further. But the granddaughter that I have is so beautiful, so gorgeous. Aww. My 15-year-old that's here in the house with me, she's beautiful as well, and she's the musician, the talent, the one who's heading in that direction. She's the one that wants to play the violin, and she wants to follow in the footsteps of maybe you, Kam Singh, because I'm a DJ. I play music of other people. I don't play my own music. You have the ability to come up with an idea that gets in your head like this. The inspiration. You said that was one of your early songs. You were a kid. Stay with me. And between 13 and 15, you were playing this or making this one up. And did that get recorded at that time, or was that recorded later?
Oh, no, that was probably done. It was probably recorded much later, Stay With Me. So probably in my 20s when I wrote that. So, yeah. The stuff I done when I was 13, 15 probably hasn't got much substance behind it. It was more experimental stuff, but it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the one that came out of that era of Kam Singh.
It was the early era, yeah.
Yeah, and it has it standed the test of time. So you know that's your one hit that made you want to go further when you had 500 people in front of you. And did any of them come up to you and say, "Kam Singh, that was great. You know, would you like to perform at my club or something?" You said it opened doors.
Actually. Yeah, I did. I had so there's like a local music venue in Bedford which was called the Squires, and they asked me to come and perform there and stuff, and I've played there a handful of times now. And the Bedford Corn Exchange, I played there a handful of times, and it was really special, you know, being asked, like, these places I used to look up to when I was a kid, being asked to come and perform there was quite, mind blowing. It's great.
Yeah, and these are places that are still open. I can put them on the walking tour. Whenever people want to go to Bedford, they want to go to those places that Kam Singh played, and they'll look in awe and say, wow, Kam Singh played on this stage. That's fantastic.
You can do. I don't know with the current pandemic what the situation is at the moment, but...
Well, from what I've understand,
tough times at the moment.
Well, from what I understand, the UK is ahead of the curve. They had their immunizations, and it was approved a bit earlier than we did. So you were the first on Earth, on the planet, to get immunized. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
That is true. We were the first to get immunized, and. Yeah, I don't really want to talk too political.
It's all political. My goodness, I can't believe that a sickness, a virus.
I need to get my friend James here. He's very political.
You can
pass you his details on later. Yeah.
No, you can give your views on what's happening, because I got one scientist, and I'm trying to listen to the scientists rather than the politicians. If a scientist tells me to put a mask on, when I have a face covering, I'll put it on my face. When I'm out in public, that's fine. It's not hurting anybody. And then there's people that say, "Oh, my rights are being held back because I have to wear this mask." Well, if you don't want to wear the mask, don't go out. If they require it, don't go to that place. If it's that big of a deal. Why is it political?
Yeah,
we're all protecting each other.
Yeah, like you said, Dan, some people don't agree with wearing masks and stuff, and I agree with you. Like, you should be wearing a mask, and it's like you get into a car, you wear a seatbelt, don't you?
Yeah.
I respect other people's opinions anyway. So.
Oh yeah. I did a club last night, and we I guess the rule is when you're walking around, when you're interacting with people, you wear the mask. While you're sitting down having a drink, you could pull the mask down so you can get at your face. But this is the way that we get to at least get out of our houses and go out to the clubs. Now, are you able to go out and play? Because I know a lot of musicians, since the pandemic started, they've been pretty much stuck in their houses and trying to find other ways to expand their creativity. How have you been doing it?
Well, Dan, it's funny you should say that, because what day were we on Saturday? It's Thursday, 2 days ago, I played a gig.
Yes.
In a small town called Leighton Buzzard. Well, it's not that small. And that gig I played in Leighton Buzzard was probably one of the best gigs I've ever done, because it made me realise, when you haven't done something for, I think the last gig prior to this was in October. So having like 3 months off and then doing this gig, it was amazing. It was just made me realise how good it is, how fortunate I was to be able to play live, being asked to play live. And at present, we've gone into like lockdown again, where as of 4 p.m. UK time, we were told that all venues will be closing again.
Oh.
So only essential shops will be open and stuff. So anyway, looking back, I'm so glad that I got to play on Thursday, because it was amazing.
Yeah, the analogy is if you hand a starving man a cracker, he's going to say, "Wow, that was the best tasting cracker I ever had. I haven't had crackers and I haven't had anything to eat in 2 weeks." But you hand that
Yeah.
person something to eat. So it's the first time that you've played since January, since what, February or March?
October actually.
Oh,
So
you had something in October.
I've only done 3 gigs this year, to be fair. One was in January, and then one was in October, and then the final one I just done was on Thursday. And all 3 of the gigs have been great, but the one on Thursday I just done was especially great because I knew that we were going to go into lockdown again. And yeah, it just seemed the audience who were like starved for music, the look on their faces, they were loving it. And it was the longest set I've ever done as well. It was a 18-song set I done. So I was quite tired at the end of it, Dan, if I'm honest, but I loved every second of it.
I imagine so. 18 songs, 18 original
18
songs, or were there some covers thrown in?
No, I went straight for the original, 18 original Kam Singh songs.
You have 18 original Kam Singh songs out there that you can perform live in front of people. And was this, you said this was with the band, not a solo?
It weren't solo, so it was me and my band. So
how many people in the band?
It was Mr. Paul Brown on drums and my percussionist Mr. Jim Monroe. My bass player Rob Sidebottom couldn't make it, so he couldn't make it because personal reasons. But he's still very much part of the band.
So who provided the bass line then?
I managed to do a lot of it on my guitar because I was manipulating the bass notes on the lower strings of my guitar. So yeah, I'll send you some stuff because my partner was filming it as well. So I'll send you some video footage of our performance on Thursday.
Well, all you have to do is put it up on your YouTube page. I have subscribed.
I'll put it up.
I have subscribed to the Kam Singh, so it will come up on my feed.
You're so kind.
Oh my goodness! And
You're
I'm noticing there's a lovely lady in the videos. Is that the girl that's in the next room watching the telly?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Look at that! You've tapped on your girl to be a part of your music videos. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We do tap on our family and friends first.
I do try and keep everything in the house. So yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you're going to make googly eyes at somebody in a video, it might as well be somebody that you actually love. I'm sure that my wife wouldn't stand for me making. Well, I mean, I guess unless I was an actor. I was an actor. I wasn't really kissing her. It was an acting kiss. Sure it was. You think she would have stand for that?
But, yeah, I doubt it, mate. But Dan, also, one of the great things about playing on Thursday was I was promoting my new single that came out on Friday.
Hit me.
Yesterday, which is called Heartbeat. So it's available on all music platforms.
That's the one that I noticed. It's on the top of your page on your Twitter feed. You have Heartbeat up there, and there's go ahead.
It's a banger.
Yeah,
it's a banger, Dan. So,
well, fantastic,
give your
man.
ears a treat.
Where can you find the Heartbeat? Well, I mean, in the middle of this thing, where do you have your social media? Where do you want people to connect with you?
So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, as you know. So any one of those platforms, I'm always on Twitter, so you can see live feeds on there. Excuse me, what I'm up to. So
yeah, and it pays to have a website. You have a website that I'm guessing that you've put together since you're an IT guy, and it has all your Twitter, Facebook. It even has MySpace up there. I have 11,000 friends on MySpace. I'm not giving it up. I'm definitely not giving it up. When I was on the terrestrial radio down in Miami, Florida, MySpace was big in the early 2000s, and I ended up accumulating quite a few friends. But
is it still going, MySpace?
It is. I think Justin Timberlake has a piece of it, and it's good for bands. But I noticed that there's an icon. Now I tapped on it. the icon doesn't take you to your Kam Singh MySpace page. How odd is that?
Okay.
But there is an icon at kamsingh.com. Now, Singh is spelled Singh.
Correct.
And I get, oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. In the UK, you say H with the ha sound, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Oh, H with this just an A sound. Yeah, and I've noticed. I like that. I like the way you pronounce it. The word.
You say tomato. I say tomato.
Well, no, I like the song. You say tomato. I also say tomato.
Okay.
And then we don't have to work anything out because we're just on the same page. I like that. Politics. Yay. Everybody on the same page. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
It'd be amazing, Dan.
Yeah, but what a boring place it would be, right? There has to be some struggle. Even when we're born, we have struggles getting out of the womb. So there's a struggle in life. It starts at the beginning and it doesn't end until the end, I guess.
Until the end, yeah.
Hey, there's a song in there somewhere. I'm sure you'll be inspired. I'm hoping that I could be a muse of some kind, and I'll end up in a Kam Singh song.
Oh, thank you. I might write you one tonight.
Hey, you making me feel good over here on this side of the pond. I appreciate it so much.
Well, thanks. How are things that side of the pond?
Man, the different states run their own states the way they want. So you have places like New York and California that are locking down completely. The only things you can do is go out for groceries. And even then it's limited. But in New York, so many people living in New York, they had to do that. It almost was a necessity to lock it down, and it worked. It worked. But in the middle states, like Arkansas, like where I'm at, it's almost business as usual. Now they just recently started to where the restaurants and bars had to close at 11 p.m. because everybody knows that coronavirus only comes out after 11 p.m. Right? It's funny to me, but my old hometown of Florida, Miami, Florida, it's business as usual, and supposedly they're having all kinds of problems. But from what I see, on the outside, if you look at the CDC numbers, the numbers from the scientists, it's starting to mellow out on its own anyway, because we're taking care of ourselves. We're wearing those masks. We're going out and taking care of each other. It's just the right thing to do. If you're going to go interact with somebody and you have this thing that has no cure, just try to take precaution. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think stay safe and abide by the rules, and it should all be okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of going back and forth. We're kind of bouncing around the timeline of the Kam Singh, and people that are listening to this, they're going to get the idea of where you came from and where you're heading. But you started 13 to 15. You went into college. You had some bands that didn't go anywhere. Groups of people that have helped you along the way. But when did you finally actually settle down and start playing for people after 2009? Were you playing on your own, or were you getting together with other groups of people and playing those gigs?
So 2009, I was probably primarily playing on my own. So from 2009, I was playing on my own, quite a lot of acoustic shows around the country. And then, then I formed a band. I've had a lot of band members supporting me. So
very good.
Yeah. And here we are now, 2020.
When did you start traveling and taking it on the road? Because I noticed that you were in New York and you said that you were in Miami at some point. When did you start going back and forth and doing shows?
When did I start doing that? I started doing that probably... Oh, now you got me, Dan. Where did I start doing that? So the first time I played in America was in Times Square. I played in 2010 in Times Square, where I was busking.
Okay.
And then I remember the police coming and telling me to move on because I didn't have a busking license, which was fine. And then the other time I played in America was I played in. Oh yeah, I will never forget this. It was 2012, and me and my partner we were traveling to San Francisco. I'm sure it was 2012, and I had a gig arranged in. I can't remember the name, life of me, of the bar, but it's in San Francisco, and I landed in San Francisco on the day I had to play, and we went to the hotel, checked in stuff, and then went to the bar. And I was so jet lagged. We were both so jet lagged. And then I remember like going on stage, playing like, I don't know, I think it was like a 20-minute set in this bar in San Fran. And I remember coming off and it felt like a dream. Like, did I actually play it or not? Because we were so jet lagged and it was such a bizarre feeling. And I remember doing that. That was really, that was a real weird feeling, man. And then the other time I played in America was Miami. I didn't play a gig.
Okay.
I just went to visit Miami. So, yeah.
So that one in New York, the one that I'm looking at and on the music video, you're playing a red Fender guitar, an electric guitar. What kind of setup did you have? Did you have to actually plug in, or was it battery operated?
It was battery operated, that guitar. So, yeah, that was 2010, when I done that.
Cool. That is really cool. Do you still have that red guitar?
Oh, yeah, I still got it. It's at my parents' house.
What's your primary instrument?
I like. Well, it's really funny that you should ask me because I was thinking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought up playing the Fender Strat, but it's not my go-to, and I never use a Fender Strat now because I prefer the like Les Paul, the Les Gibson kind of guitars. Mm-hmm. They're like my go-to. So I've got an Ibanez Les Gibson guitar at the moment I use. And I also have a Yamaha Apex electroacoustic guitar I use. But mainly it's that Ibanez guitar I love. I have got 12 guitars to choose from, to be fair, which is quite greedy. And I only use 2 out of the 12, which is a bit naughty.
Well, I've seen some of the big bands whenever I've watched over the years. I think I saw Bruce Springsteen back in '84 at the Orange Bowl in Miami, and I remember he had a bunch of guitars. I don't know that he was playing them. I think his guitarist was playing them. But you said that you're not a Fender Strat man, and certainly that red guitar that you were playing in New York is not a Strat. I don't know what kind of a Fender that is. Is it an acoustic electric? Is that what that is?
It's an electric acoustic Fender, kind of Fender Strat thing going on. I actually bought that from New York. And the reason why I bought it was I thought it looked quite cool. So it's mainly for the way it looked. But playing it wise, it's not my go-to. I don't like the sound that much on it.
Well, it's neat to watch you on timeline, from then to now, because I look back then, you had this baby face, clean shaven, and over the years, and I know COVID has gotten us all out of whack. My wife's been telling me I need a haircut for probably a year now. It just keeps getting longer and longer. I know when in March it was clean shaven, like the old number one, buzzed very tight, and now it's just getting all over the place. But I know that things are tough all over. But rock stars, they grow their hair long, and I see your hair's a bit longer than it was back then. Styles change. People are going to be following Kam Singh's style like Madonna over the years.
I don't know about that, but I hope so.
I want to be like Kam Singh. I want to look just like him. Let me put my ball cap on with my big hair coming out the back of it, and my George Michael type shaven, scruff. May rest in peace, of course, George Michael. He had that permanent scruff. I think he shaved it that way, where it was like in a number one shave. Permanent.
He looked good though, didn't it?
Oh yeah, he did. He looked great, fantastic. But you started at an early age playing music, and 2009 was definitely a turning point when you had that playing that gig where you were playing in front of 500 people, and then it changed from there, and you started playing with hired guns here and there that would support you from time to time. What do you like better? Is it and maybe better and easier can be interchangeable? Do you like the ability to take your acoustic guitar and just play wherever you want? Or is it better to have people backing you up to where you can have a much more full sound and you could bounce ideas off of people?
It varies between the two, because sometimes it's quite nice just having a simple acoustic sound, but it's really joyful as well playing with other musicians because you get to share the experience. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it becomes a family. It becomes a story that you tell together. And if people, if people are telling a story together and then they share that experience, maybe you'll remember a piece of that story that I didn't remember, and maybe they'll add a piece of music that does sound good. In that way, I think we'll play it that way from now on. And maybe the next time you'll play, they'll add another drum beat or add another bass line or play it a little faster or a little slower. And you have different people that are giving you different ideas, editing, so to speak. Yeah.
So going back to Thursday when we done our gig, it was nice doing the gig afterwards, and then afterwards relaxing with each other, being like, hey, wasn't it cool when we done this song, and just bouncing ideas off each other. Really nice, as opposed to when you play on your own, you just don't know, you got no one to bounce those comments or feedback with anyone else. So it's nice enjoying it. Both are nice, but I like playing with people. It's fun.
Yeah, when people come to a Kam Singh show and say last Thursday and you were playing those 18 songs, did you play all 18 of those songs in a row, or did you split it up into 2 sets?
Well, we had 2 sets, but I think we had like a 10-minute. We done 9 songs, and then we had like a 10-minute toilet break, and then done another 9. I could have gone on all night, but yeah, it was good. Leave them wanting more, Dan. Key.
But how were you able to practice previous to that with all this COVID nonsense going on? Or were you able to practice, have some kind of a practice room where you can keep apart? Or, I don't want to delve into maybe you weren't so far apart. But still, were you able to practice over those last few months?
We hadn't really practiced at all together. So it was when we turned up and we were socially distanced, it was basically just going from muscle memory what we had done previously, which worked a treat.
I think you've come a long way since 13 years old. You've definitely learned how to play this guitar. And do you think that you're the type of person that could get up on a stage and somebody will say, "Hey, can you play this song?" and try to keep up with the changes? Do you have that ability to where you could jam with other people?
Yeah, for sure. Without blowing my own trumpet, I think I could.
Well, that's fantastic, man. I know Sunday night we have a place called TC's here in Conway, Arkansas, and they have a Sunday night jam, and that's where a lot of different band members from different bands around town get together, and maybe you'll have the guitarist from one band and the drummer from another and the bass from another and a vocalist from a completely different band, and they'll all get together and sing songs, either covers or each other's songs. And it's just, that's so amazing to me that bands that haven't really even practiced together have that ability to play each other's songs and maybe even, covers that everybody knows, that we've been practicing since we were kids. Now, when did you start playing? You were playing covers, I'm guessing, when you were young, I'm guessing. And when did you start playing your own stuff out there for the world?
When I start playing my own stuff.
Well, what covers were you playing when you first started, and then when did you start playing your own?
Covers when I was first. What covers was I first playing? I was playing I was playing a lot of Nirvana covers because Nirvana songs were quite simple to learn. And I was doing like Radiohead. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard of a band called Radiohead. I was doing a lot of Radiohead covers.
You know what's funny is I only know the one song "Creep," but there are so many Radiohead fans that know their whole catalog. and just celebrate
Yeah.
them like Fish, like they follow these bands like Deadheads, that
Right.
kind. Are there any Kam Singh heads? Are there any fans that you see every time you go to a gig and it's the same person? You go, huh? You were there, and now you're way over here on this side of the country or this side of town. It's the same person.
Yeah,
You have groupies?
my partner.
All right, you have to say that one. she follows you wherever she goes.
Follows me home, bro.
That's wonderful. Well, hey, we're not in the same boat there. I have a wife that will never go to any of my gigs because it's too loud. She's more of a homebody. She stays home with my child and enjoys herself here, and then waits for me to come home. Now, have you ever come home from a gig so elated, that 500 or 1,000 people were saying, "Wow, Kam Singh, you were so great," and then you come home, take out the garbage. She brings you right back down.
Oh, yeah. I've had that.
It's good to have somebody to ground you.
Well, yeah, you do need that in your life, don't you?
Well,
do need it.
It sounds like you have a good home life and you've got a good professional life going. Kam Singh, if somebody asked you 5 years ago, where are you going to be in 5 years? I think pretty much everybody on the earth was wrong, completely wrong. You never thought you were going to be spending a whole year in a pandemic, but if you could look into the future and everything's going to be perfectly normal in 5 years, where do you want Kam Singh music to go?
I'm going to go to that jam bar you're talking about, where you live.
I'll see you at TC's. You'll be playing
TC's.
TC's.
You'll see me at TC's.
Yeah, from what I understand, and this is before I moved here to Central Arkansas, TC's used to be the Grand Ole Opry West, and it used to be a venue for so many of like Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, all these big names. The big country music stars would go there, and it was the Grand Ole Opry West. And this is way before my time here in Arkansas. But I got here in 2009, the same year that you were in that fateful contest that turned your career towards the up and up, heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
But it's become a really nice local bar.
What I was going to say, Dan, there are two things I really want to do musically.
Please.
First of all, is there's a show in the UK called Live with Jules Holland. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, I have not. Put it out to the universe.
If you go onto YouTube and type in Live with Jules Holland, it's a show that musicians go on, famous musicians, and they're all in one room and then they all play a song at a time. Not together, but on their own, and then it moves on to the next artist. And I think they get to do 2 songs each. And my dream is always to go to that show, number one.
Where is that?
Sorry.
No, where is that taped?
There, where's it taped? I think it's in London. London, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever played in London?
Yeah, I've played in London, but not on that show.
Okay, so that's step one on the bucket list. You want to be on that show?
On that show, and there's been bands on there such as, I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Radiohead, Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam. They've all been on that show. I'd love to be on that show. So that's number one. And then my second thing on the bucket list is I want to play in Glastonbury.
In where?
At the Glastonbury Festival.
Oh, that's a big festival over there then. Okay.
Yeah. Have you not heard of the Glastonbury Festival?
No, I have not. I guess I must be living a sheltered life. I'm under a rock. You're teaching me things, Kam Singh, putting it on the walking tour. Whenever I go to the UK, I want to go to these places.
So the Glastonbury Festival is probably the biggest European outdoor festival we have.
And where is that?
Which is in a town called Glastonbury, funnily enough.
Okay. It got to be likened to our Woodstock, to where it's in a place that you would, it was totally unassuming. You would never expect the greatest, show ever in the history of this country was in the little farm near Woodstock. in New York, I guess, right?
It's exactly the same kind of format as you said, Woodstock.
Fantastic.
So they're my two bucket list things I want to do.
Well, you've put them out to the universe, and superstitious or not, the some people really do believe that if you speak it out into the universe, if you write it down and you dream upon it, meditate upon it, it will happen. But then you're always making moves. You're going to do things that are going to lead you on that path to those places that you want to be. Kam Singh.
Yeah, true.
Excellent.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Dan.
And you got a gal that's helping you along the way, that's really in support of you. As long as you got that day job, as long as you got that regular gig, that doing the IT thing and the computers. Now, did you design your own website? Because that's a good website.
I'm not going to lie to you, Dan, but I didn't. A friend of mine done it.
Well, good. It's good to have people. Yes.
Yeah, it is good.
Yes, it really is. That's a good website, kamsing.com.
I think it needs updating, though, to be fair.
Maybe a little bit, but it's simple, and it maybe the MySpace link, it could be updated, but it does have it has your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube, and your SoundCloud link right there on the top of the fold, as the old newspaper people would say. But as we wind this thing down, any other shout outs you want to give to the people? Any people that along the way that you want to give a word to?
So I've already mentioned my band, and also my big shout out to all my family and friends who've supported me on the way to this journey I'm on. And without them, it's not. It wouldn't be possible, So with their support, what I'm doing, even in these current times where things are tough, their support means a lot. And to everyone out there who actually comes to the shows and streams the music, wherever they are in the world, it's great, because sometimes I see people streaming my music from areas of the world that I didn't even know that existed when you drill deeper. And it's amazing, that we're in a time now where, because of the internet, music can be reached any part of the world. And you can find all these artists now who are independent and who aren't even on a major label. So it's so accessible now. So, I'm very grateful that, we're in a time where music can be accessed anywhere. So big shout out to the fans, to the Kam Singh music fans, Dan. Big shout out to them. Much respect.
Well, you set yourself apart from all the other Kam Singhs out there, and there are some Kam Singhs. While I was looking through and Googling your name, Kam Singh, I did come up with some Bollywood music, and I don't understand it, but I like the beat. It's kind of cool.
Just remember one thing, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm the only kamsing.com, and I'm the only Kam Singh with a blue tick on his name on Facebook and Instagram, etc. So there's only one real Kam Singh.
He's not bragging. If it's true, he's not tooting his own horn. Yes, he is. A little bit. You got it. You are the only Kam Singh that counts at this moment in time, for sure.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, Kam Singh of Kam Singh Music. I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. It could be, words that you live by, something that you heard a long time ago. Somebody told you, maybe a mantra that Kam Singh goes by, or just whatever words pop into your head at this moment in time. Kam Singh, and I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. As time progresses, I want to hear from you again, and I will be following you. So Kam Singh, last words for the people.
Dan, just want to say, firstly, thank you so much to you for conducting this interview. It means a lot, and taking the time to ask me these questions. And secondly, to everyone who supports me and follows me, and to the new fans, I hope you enjoy my music, and I hope that I can continue making good sounding music for you all.
Well, there you have it, party people. Kam Singh. Look him up online. What a nice guy. Kam Singh, KamSingh.com. Or I should say H, because that's how they say it in the UK. I like the way they say it. I like the way you say it over there. Yeah, not H, H with a ha. All right, party people. Kam Singh. Find him everywhere and listen to that grooving sound, man. You can find him on, well, I guess he's got the SoundCloud and he's got the different links on kamsingh.com. So find him and follow him. He likes to be stalked. I'm sure of it. All right. Thank you so much, Kam Singh, for being on the program. What Makes You Famous? Now I'm turning my attention to you. If you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.